I think what the question for me in many ways is why the market is loving it so much when initially we thought there's no wow factor here.
Hi, Caroline. Thanks for having me. You're so right because I've been like absorbing all this information as I'm sure everyone else here. I think what was really big is, yesterday there might have been a lackluster response because, like you said, there wasn't any brand new feature or use case that we haven't seen yet, right, from the other platforms or the other players in the market. But what to me really stood out, I think what's catching on, the wave here is this is a big move. It's a bold, step forward for Apple. Yes, sure, they were, behind the curve a little bit, but I think the way they've come out right now, they've told, what Apple does best, right? They've told a really compelling consumer story. Most consumers aren't really aware about, what's generative AI and what it can do. What I think Apple did that, was, I guess, genius on their part is the way they integrated it into the user experience, which is of course central to Apple's history and how it's always been about the user experience, and it's about how bringing in AI on device with everything that we do, right, and everyday apps that we have without having to go somewhere, click on a different app or a chatbot. It's just everything is integrated. And then of course there's strong message on, if you do it with Apple Intelligence, it's going to be private and secure.
But that privacy and security issue, do you think that that's in any way going to be questioned by what Musk is currently saying? Do you think it might put off people going for the iPhone 16?
Elon Musk will be Elon Musk, right? Like we just said in the earlier segment, there's definitely going to be a lot of talk that it's going to be around this. But I think Apple's messaging was clear, right? That if you using AI, the way they have shown this and everything that they've shown yesterday was it's going to give you a personalized, customized experience. It's going to keep most of things on device. It's only when because that's where they're not using, I think there's a lot of confusion. And I was like looking into this myself earlier this morning. We have our team on ground at Apple Park to verify, what is it the models that are being used in all of Apple Intelligence and all the features that we saw, right? What are the different, whether it's Genmojis, whether it's the summarization, transcription, search, everything that's on device, it's based on Apple's own AI models. It's only the ChatGPT and OpenAI comes in when you're trying to prompt Siri for a question that Siri can't use the information that's on your device to answer, or Apple's own AI model. And that's the opt-in feature, which you're going to give user or Siri access to, or, give your permission to access ChatGPT. Yeah. So I think the way they have messaged it is pretty clear that everything that you do on the Apple device will be secure. And even when Apple or the device can't use its own, on-device AI model, it's going to use Apple's secure cloud to personalized clouds to be able to run those more complicated AI models. But ChatGPT, I think it was segmented in a different way that only used during Siri prompts.
Nabila, what's interesting is this is a global company with a lot of focus on China, and I'm interested as to longer term. We know that they're going to perhaps be more agnostic about which large language model they use, adopt, or indeed build their own. But can this go live in China? Will it stimulate demand in China?
So the key, and again, like we were talking to our China team this morning, because ChatGPT isn't available in China right now with this iteration, it's not going to benefit the upgrade cycle in China with the device this year. However, the fact that Apple's in AI, the fact that Apple is doing these things is going to benefit the consumer perception, which was taking, a negative turn, especially in China, because consumers are placing AI as a driving factor in their devices in terms of purchasing. So I think this year the upgrade cycle will probably be more impacted because, as they said, it's going to be available in the fall and only in supported the English language. So countries like US, UK, or any consumers that are primarily English driven, it's going to drive, because there's plenty of users out there with iPhone 11 and iPhone 12. Because the average refresh cycle, we're still looking at about 3 to 4 years.
Right.
So there's many of those users that will, want these new devices, even if it's just English support, because, I'm an English speaking user.